If you want to learn how to organize your business with Notion, but you have no idea where to start, then this video is for you. If you're starting with Notion, you've probably seen so many templates and amazing dashboards, but then once you actually log in inside Notion, all you see is this weird blank page. And then you get the question, all right, but how does it work? Like, where do I even start? So I'm here to tell you, do not worry, it is not your problem. Notion is just really hard at first. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to start using Notion from scratch, how to get free Notion templates, and then how to create your first dashboard in Notion so you can organize everything in one single page. Let's get into it. But before we jump into this video, hi, my name is Anna Cushart. I'm a Notion consultant for business owners. And in this channel, I teach you everything about how to use Notion to organize your team and business from one single place. Now let's get into it. All right, so let's get started. This is the first thing that you will see as soon as you create a new Notion account. And if you don't know how to get that, I'm going to leave the link in the description box. And from these three options, the easiest one to get started with Notion is just to select it that we're going to use it for our personal life. Even though you might be using it for your business, don't worry, we can still click this option. And as you can see, we're already inside Notion and they have already created some pages for us to start testing. But before we get into them, let's first understand how do we navigate Notion itself. So let's start with the sidebar and then let's see how can we work with the main page. If we start with the sidebar, you will see that starting from the very top, this is the name of your workspace. So the account that we have actually recently created. And then you will see that from this section, the only pages or sections that you're interested in is first of all, the search bar, because this one is going to be super helpful. As soon as we start getting a ton of information inside Notion and we start tracking our goals or tasks or projects, if you ever are looking for something that you cannot find, you can always go to the search bar and then start typing something in here, and then you're going to find it super quick. We also have the home, the meetings, Notion AI, etc., etc. But as in right now, for your very first day, you can forget about anything else. Then you will see that we have the recents section. And honestly, at least for now, I will just minimize it and close this toggle, because in here, they're just basically, they're going to appear the latest pages that you have opened. So as if it was the recents from your Finder on your Mac. But again, for now, it's a bit confusing. So let's just close it. You can see that we also have some agents beta. This is something from AI that it's going to be launching very soon. We can forget about that. And then this is the interesting part. So you're going to see that then we reach the private section. And this means that in here, you can create as many pages and sections that you want. And everything that goes inside your private, of course, this is your Notion account. This is your section. You are the only one with access to this. And in here's where we're going to create this business hub to get started. And then in case you want to share any of the pages that we're going to create with your colleagues or maybe a client to send a proposal, or if you're working with other freelancers as well, then you can create pages. Instead of creating them inside the private section, we need to create them inside the shared section, because then we're going to be able to add them as an email or as a guest, and then we can collaborate with them. And then going at the very bottom, you will see that Notion also has some other apps. So Notion Desktop is, now I'm recording Notion from the browser, but you can also use Notion from the desktop. But they also have some two other tools, which is Notion Email and Notion Calendar. But for today, we're just starting with Notion 101. Don't worry about that. And then the last three items on this list are also very interesting. So first of all, we have the settings, and this one is going to be super useful to see who is inside your workspace. Of course, as in right now, you are the only, if you go to members, you want to see that you are the only one in there. But in case you then want to use it with the rest of your team, or you want to upgrade it to use it for your business with more complex setups and automations and Notion AI, you can go in here to upgrade it. So this is just to match all of the settings inside Notion. And then you'll see that we have the marketplace. And in here's where we're going to come and find any Notion template that you were looking for, even the free ones or the paid ones, to get inspired and to get more Notion pages, so we don't have to create everything from scratch. But don't worry, because I'm going to get into that a bit later. And then the last page in here, it's also very useful. This is just the trash. So as soon as you delete one of the pages inside Notion, if you're looking for it and it's oh, I think I have accidentally deleted it, you can always go back in here and then restore that page so you still have access to it. But before we get started, let's first of all delete all of the pages that we see in here. So you can see that they say we have the get started one, then we have a quick checklist, which is a database, and then we have this weekly view, and then we have the monthly budget, just to show you different things. But this is usually a bit confusing, so you can always find more templates. I'm going to teach you how. So maybe we leave this one just to show you something later. But all of the other ones, let's just move them to the trash. To delete, lesson number one, to delete a page inside Notion, you just go to the three dots in here, we go move to trash, and that's it. And in case you want to go find them later, as I was saying, you just go to the trash, look for these pages, and then we can click in the restore section. So it's gonna go back in here in our private section. So let's just save this one because I'm gonna mention it later, but let's create in here, let's click add new, and let's create a new empty page. We're gonna select literally empty page. And now let's get into it. Like, let's create a business hub inside Notion starting from this super scary blank page. Let's first of all assign it a specific name. So we're gonna go with business hub. We can even assign it a specific icon. So we're just going to select a kit heart. And then you can even add a cover for it as if it was like LinkedIn or like any social media, even though this is not a social media. You can select like one of the images from the gallery. You can select the ones without copyright. You can write something in here and select it. You can add a link if you like want to add a GIF, but you can even upload your own banner if you want to. So you can make it very custom. For this time, we're just going to select something nice in here. All right, now we have the title of our page already ready. So how does Notion actually work? Like, how can we make it work? In Notion, you can do many different things. You can start writing, add videos, add images. You can even create databases, relate those databases, and create very complex workflows. But to get started today, I'm just going to teach you the very basics. So thing number one is, as soon as you create a Notion page, you can start writing and typing anywhere, like numbers, letters, etc., etc. And you can even start creating lists. So if you click like the horizontal bar like this, you can start typing and have like a like a bullet point, a list. You can even do the same with like the numbers and start creating numbered list, etc., etc. So like to see all of the options that we have to like create different, every one of like these items is what we call one block inside Notion. And this is what it makes it so powerful, because we can create different blocks and start combining them. So we can have one text block, and then next to it we have a list of to-do list, and then next to it we have a picture. So this is how we create these different dashboards. But just to show you and introduce you to like all of the different blocks that we can create inside Notion, you can just go anywhere and type the slash bar, and then you're gonna see all of the things that we can create in Notion. So if you go in here, starting with the basic blocks, you can see that we can create text, we can create headings with like different sizes as well, different lists like bulleted list, numbered list. We can create to-do lists, which are like these like kind of checkboxes that we can just select for it, that we're gonna be using very soon. And then let's see what else we can create. There are many different things in here. You can create a page, and a page means this is as if it was what I call the Google Drive syndrome. So it's like you have Google Drive as in your business hub, and then you have one page for your notes, and then one page for your ideas, and then one page for your services or products. So you start creating these different folders, and then inside these folders, it's just another page where you can start taking also more notes on it. But don't worry, because we're going to do that and see that in more detail in just a second. So right now I'm just showing you like the different options that we have in here. We have text, lists, we have pages. We also have a callout, which is this kind of rectangular section that then we can add notes on the inside. I use them as if it was like a sticky note inside Notion. We're also going to be using it. We can create a quote, a table, a divider, which is just like an horizontal line. So as you can see, we can create many different things. Then if you're using Notion for your business and you're on one of the paid plans, you can also use Notion AI, but this is for another day. It's not necessary on your first day. But as you can see, then we have the media section. So we can also embed images, video, audio, code, files, like you can even upload your PDFs, anything that you want actually. And then we have the databases section, but this is something that we're going to discuss on your second day, because for today, it's not necessary. So just with what we have described, just to show you, we can start typing and creating these different blocks and areas that we can start to take notes, for example. So let's start with one of the headers. Let's do header 2, and then let's start with first just create one section for our notes. So we're going to do this. We're going to add one header and then one divider, which is like the horizontal line, and then just a bulleted list for our notes. Perfect. And now let's do something very similar. We're going to do this. And we're gonna create our to-do list. So we're gonna do this to-do list at the horizontal line, and in here, instead of the bulleted list, we want to add the checklist. So we have 3 different things to do today. Just to show you, like, this would be like quote unquote one Notion block, like, okay, the area for our notes, then the area for our tasks, and then the area. So we can keep creating these different areas and then combine them all and make a dashboard with them. So it's not just an endless page with like an endless amount of notes and like writing, but actually turning this into a dashboard. So one more thing before we jump into the dashboard. We can also make this super custom inside Notion, because this is a question we get asked all the time. Like, how can we make this more aesthetic or like customize it to my colors or my branding? As you have seen, like the first thing we can do to make it custom is we can go in here and change the icons. So we have an endless amount of emojis, you have Notion's icons, but then you can even upload like your own logo, like any picture that you want. We can also customize the cover in here at the very top, and then we can also customize, let's say, like the font, like not font size, the font size, and then the colors. So for example, I can go in here. If I go to the text color, for example, I can change this to either have the letters in brown or have the background of the text in brown, but let's just select for the letters. So we can change these colors, and it takes like a bit of time. It's not as if you say, hey, change all of the sections all of the titles automatically to this color. With basic Notion, you have to like go section by section and adapt the color. But this is what it makes it fun. Like you can take your time, make it your own, and just make it cute and simple. So you are also, it's like nice and you are excited to keep using it, but you are not feeling overwhelmed because it's like too much color and you just stop wasting too much time on it. So now, how can we turn this from one page, very simple page, to like take an endless amount of notes, which at the end of the day, this is the same as the notes app from your phone or like Todoist or any of these other tools? How do we change this and switch it to a dashboard? The first thing I want you to do is to turn this from one single page into a wider board. So we turn it into a dashboard. So we're going to go here at the very top in these three dots, and we're going to select, one second, I'll move this here. We're going to select this section that says make it full width. So you will see that as soon as we click this moves. It's not that it moves to the left section, but it widens to like the full space of your screen. So now something else we can also do in Notion is create different columns in order to organize these different blocks inside our dashboard. So we're going to go in here, we're going to go slash and type column. And then let's say that we're going to do 3 different columns. So then we can take this section and drag it like this, and then drop it inside this first column. And then we can do the same with this section. So we go in here, we select, we drag it, and then we drop it in here. And this is how we create these different dashboards with, okay, I want to see my notes, my tasks, and this and this and this and that. So now let's decide how do we want our structure of this dashboard to be. For me, the easiest section is to have, the easiest setup is to have on the left side, what we're going to call our quote-unquote menu. So we're going to have one section to store our notes, and then we're going to create in here different pages, as I mentioned before, so we can store inside those pages all of the notes, references, video references, scripts, and plannings for all of the areas or categories of our business. And then let's leave this main page to just show the to-do list that we need to do, because this is the first thing we want to see when we open Notion. So we will open our dashboard and be like, okay, here's quick notes to store information, and then to check the checkboxes of the tasks that we actually need to do every single day. First of all, let's create the sticky notes section. So we already have this notes list, but let's put this inside a callout so I can also show you what it actually is. You create callout, and it's like this, I don't know how to say, like rectangular section. You can even click here and also like change the color if you want to. I just like this brown because it's nice. And then we just select this section, for example, and move it inside. So now we have what I call a sticky note inside Notion, like a post-it. So this is for like quick notes, quick reminders, like, oh, I just jump off a call with a client, I don't want to forget this, let me just ping it in here. And then you can take your notes, and then at the end of the day or at the end of the week, make sure you review this and store that information, or you do those tasks, and then you can forget about it. So now we have the first section in here. And now let's create another one just to store these different pages where we're gonna organize inside of them the longer notes, what I call, and you will see it in a second. So we're gonna go in here and write page, and let's create one page, for example, for our goals. So actually, let's call it 2026 goals. So in here we can start brainstorming and thinking about our goals. We can even go in here and click embed, just like this, the first option. And you can even upload directly in here if you have your vision board that you've done on Pinterest, like you have many different like inspirational pictures that you have for your boards, for your goals. You can also upload them in here. So you can do a combination of goals, like goal number 1, goal number 2 and 3, what do you want to achieve, but also get some pictures and make it cute, so it's like inspiring. So we have this one section to store, one page to like store all of our goals, and then we want to create a second page to define, for example, everything that's inside your business. So for example, are you a service-based business? Then let's define this like my services. So we can go in here, for example, and then be like heading 1, no, heading 2, and be like service number 1, well, service number 1, service number 2, whatever. And then we go, okay, so this is what they get, for example, and then this is the price. And then you go in here and start, I don't know, like option number 1 for the price, option number 2, so like you can take all of the notes for like all of your services. Like if you have more than one, you can also do this and do copy, and then go in here and do paste, and then go, okay, service number 1, these are like all of the notes, what do they get, like the onboarding process or the emails that you're sending to them or the email templates, and this is the pricing. And then you can start taking notes and discussing if you want to like change the price or something. And then we make sure that we have all of these sections and all of these information well organized in here, so it doesn't take an amount of time and mental space for us to like keep in our heads. And then let's do a third one, which is gonna be about our content, because even if you are doing like product-based business, like service-based business, I bet you're doing content or any kind of marketing. So we can go in here and be like content, and in here as well, you can just go in here and start saying like, okay, maybe this is the title of the first idea, and this is like the different thoughts or like hooks that you're thinking about it for like a reel. And then you have the second idea, and then you keep writing the following hooks. And this is not just to like take notes about it, but you can even embed, like if you're doing research to like create content because you do it on YouTube, you can go and just copy the URL of that YouTube video, go in here and directly paste it. And then you have the option to embed it, so you can actually see the YouTube video from here. So if we're going back, now we're gonna drag all of these 3 pages, put them right inside this column, as you can see. So then we can make sure that we leave this space for like the tasks that we're gonna do in a second. And then we're gonna call this menu. All right, so now we have a quick section for our quick notes, and then we have the different pages to like go in there and start brainstorming everything that we have related to that section. And I just write like goals, my services, and content ideas just to give you a few, but you can do this for like all, if you're like renovating your website, or if you're doing a rebranding, or if you're still, so you can just create one page for one area or project that you have inside your business, and then inside that page you can start brainstorming, saving references, keeping your chats, like your answers with ChatGPT, like everything that you're working for it. And then you have like all of the ideas organized in one single place for all of these areas. And now, super quick, before we jump into this section to create the tasks, let's also add something else. So as I was telling you, you can also do like embed and add any picture or any video that you want to. So let's create an embed section. And let's add one of the pictures that you have from Pinterest or that you really want, or maybe that are related to your vision board. So we can click in here. You can either click the link or upload them directly from your desktop. And of course, if you're on the free Notion plan, you have like a limitation for the size, but shouldn't be a burden. And as you can see, it's gonna take just a second to load, and we can also like go in here and change or readjust the size if we want to just make it smaller. So now we have what I called our left column in here to have like quick access to everything that we need. And then this section, let's create the different areas to track our tasks. So for me, the easiest way to start tracking your tasks, if you're like, this is your first day in Notion and right now you have like many projects or many clients and you are really struggling to like burning out because you are just managing all of your chaos, this is the easiest way to get started. We're gonna create one list and one column per client and per project that you're currently working with. So for example, instead of to-do list, we're gonna call this section client 1. And then in here, we can track all of the tasks that we need to do ASAP this week or next week in order to do the work with this client that we have. And then maybe we can have like, you need to deliver the first draft to this client, and then together you do the first review call. So just to name like random tasks that maybe you do and on the process of working with your clients, but just client 1, everything that you have right now in your head or in your calendar that you need to do. So you make sure that everything is written in here and you're not forgetting anything. And now the best part is that we can just copy this section and duplicate it. So you can either select it and then literally do like control copy, control paste from your keyboard in this other column, for example, and we do client 2. Maybe you have the same tasks for the client 2, or maybe it's another service and then you do something different. So you can just go in here, and like rewrite them. And then we're gonna keep repeating this not only for our clients, but also, or like projects with externals that you have, but also with your internal projects. So maybe you are like, while working with your clients, maybe you're also doing a rebranding of yours, or like building a new website for you, or just like launching your personal brand, launching a new product, whatever you're doing. So let's go in here, and now they, for example, say, so you can just write the list of the things that you need to do for it. And then we're going to copy this and do it for one of the other projects that maybe you also have for your business. It's launching a new product, and we also write the tasks for that. So as you can see, you can just create these different small blocks that they call. So it's like you have one title, like client one, client one. So it's like client one, everything that needs to be done. Client two, everything that needs to be done. My own project, my own other project. So then as soon as you start doing these tasks, you can just go like and start marking them and checking them as they're already done. So then from this main page, you can have this access to like, okay, I can see everything that's under my business from just one glance. So do I have any last minute thought or like something I want to write down? You go into the notes and like write it super quick. I'm scrolling on Instagram, and you see a very amazing post, and it's like, okay, just copy the URL and go to content ideas and then paste it in here. So then like you make sure that you don't forget about it. And do you want to review your services, or maybe brainstorm if you want to offer a new kind of services? You can go in here, take notes, brainstorm that, like analyze your competence, take all of the notes that are also related to that. You have the menu section where one page is one area of your business, and in there go all of the notes that are related to it. As I was saying, you can also embed like any widget or like external things. So you can upload a picture, upload a video. You can even upload a Spotify playlist. So you can just directly play it from here if you also want to. And then you have this main page to see everything that needs to be done. At least to like have one place to organize, like these are all of my projects that I have going on, and this is everything that needs to be done ASAP, or this week, or at least by the end of this month. So you can make sure to have this space to like bring down everything that's going on in your head, and you can have control over it, and you are not afraid anymore to like lose it or forget about it. Now, of course, there are many other ways that you can do this. And for example, instead of organizing, let's say, your tasks according to the project they belong to, maybe it's like, no, I actually work as if I was working with Google Calendar. So I want to have this view of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like instead of working by the project, I want to have the tasks organized by the day of the week. Then we can take advantage of the page that appears in here. And if it doesn't show up in your Notion, don't worry, because now I'm going to teach you how to use other Notion templates. But you can just maybe just go in here, and this is something very interesting in Notion. Like, how do I like this other thing from this template? How do I move this to my section? You can just go in here. Let's do it like this. Copy, literally, and then go inside your Business Hub. And then you go in here, you create a bit space, and then you paste it. All right, so now that you have created your own Business Hub and that you got to understand like the few basics, the different kind of blogs that you can use, now let's jump into the next question, which is like, how can I work with Notion templates? Where can I find them? And how can I make them mine? As in, how can I, like, as soon as I download a Notion template, how can I change it? How can I custom it? And for sure, how can I take some parts from some other templates and add them to my workspace? Thing number one, where can you find Notion templates? If you go in here at the very bottom, where it's called Marketplace, if we click in here, you're going to see the endless amount in the world of Notion. So you can see many different things. Well, you can see Notion AI news coming in. Then you can find also many different certified Notion consultants. If you ever have questions about Notion, you can always go in here and ask for help. But if you want to find one of the templates, you just need to like go in here at the very top section in the Finder and then write the word for the template that you're looking for. So for example, let's see other ways to organize our tasks starting from this very simple checklist. So we can go in here and just write tasks, for example, and you will see an endless amount, as you can see, just 91 results from many different ways to organize your tasks. So if we do a zoom in, some people use it like this way. Some others start creating Notion databases, which again, this is the next step in order to make your Notion setup, turn like the dashboard that you currently have into an actual operating system. But this is something for the next day, because on your very first day, you don't need to know about it. And also, as soon as you start seeing a ton of templates, you're going to get overwhelmed with like, yeah, but some of them are paid, some of them are for free. Like, how can I make sure I do research about the correct templates, or how do I get started? if this is your first day, I would tell you, do not buy any template because you are still getting used to Notion. You don't know what you want, what you don't, what works for you and what doesn't. So just select the ones. You can go in here and filter them. So you can just select the ones that are for free. And if you want to, and you still get overwhelmed, you can also select just the ones from Notion because they're usually the most minimal, black and white, very simple templates. So let's, for example, say that you've seen this section in here and that you see, okay, I love this. How do they have this countdown or like this widget in here? Or I love that they can see, this is not Google Calendar, but like I want to have a widget with the calendar, or I want to see this, or there's something. It's not like I don't want this full template because I'm not sure if I'm going to use it, but I want to have access to this section. So you can just go in here and add this template to your workspace. And as soon as you click add, some of them might ask you for the email, some of them doesn't for the free ones. So as soon as you click add, you're going to see that now you have duplicated this template inside your workspace. And that means that now you have your own copy, which means this copy that we have duplicated, we can edit it, we can make it custom for ourselves, we can delete any parts that we don't need, and we can select some blocks and add them to our business hub to just complement it. So as you can see, like there are many things in here. You can go in this block directly, just copy. I mean, not copy, but like just clicking here and literally just do like control copy on your keyboard or like just even duplicate like this. And then you go to your business hub and then decide where do we want to place it. So it's like, oh, I just want to add it in here as that other creator did. So you can create a few spaces and just do literally like copy and paste. And you click dismiss. And now there you have it. You have just copied one of the blocks from one of the other templates. And this is the whole purpose of templates, like just creating different dashboards and sharing them so we can get inspired from others and just take what we need. And also, this is very interesting because it's going to tell you what are you interested in inside Notion. So there is no point on learning everything because it doesn't make any sense. You can start learning Notion depending on what do you need for your business. So for example, it's like, oh, I want to track my content because now I have, with this section, we have a section to like have our content ideas, but I want to turn this into what you mentioned, to like have a list, but then a calendar to start tracking that. How can I get that? Again, you can go to the marketplace, look for like content planning. You're going to get a ton of free Notion templates for that. And then it's like, okay, but how do I use them? Like, how can I start working with Notion databases? So then you can go in on YouTube or wherever and start looking for how to use Notion for content creation. And then you can learn something specific in Notion. And this is it for today. So now you have your own business hub. You have all of the knowledge and all of the elements to like start playing, start getting templates, and start getting your hands into Notion and just finish building your system. Now, if you have any questions about what I've taught you today, you can leave them in the comments and then I will always go in there and answer them so we can all learn at the same time. And if you want to keep learning how to use Notion to organize your business, to start working with databases, to like projects, clients, etc., I'm going to leave all of the links in the description box. So make sure you go and check that out. And also, if at any point in this journey you get stuck or you have questions and not even ready to answer them for you, I'm a certified Notion consultant, so you can always get access to me. I'm going to leave the link in the description box so you can book a quick discovery call with me so we can meet and I can show you how can I help you move forward. And if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed and you just want to download this template so you can automatically get started, I'm also going to link this free template down below. And of course, you have all of my socials below so we can connect in there and you can keep learning on how to use Notion for your business. So thank you so much for making it this far and I will see you in the next one.